I love that quote, first of all. And I think, with Zapier, it's different, right? You're in the tech space. You have a company that people want to work at, and it's a desired place to work and exciting jobs. And, you're in the tech space, which, has a lot of hype around it as well. So it's probably different from Teach for America and from that standpoint that you've got people that, are already excited about the opportunity and maybe have already been thinking about how they want to work at Zapier. But it sounds like you guys are still taking that proactive approach to give yourself a competitive edge. I'm curious, what are some of the things that you guys are doing to make sure that you have that like end-to-end cultivation of those relationships and are nurturing the candidate all along the way to plant the seed early and eventually, bring them on hopefully as a Zapier team member?
Yeah. I have to say, joining Zapier in the tech space was so different for me when looking at the data for my first few months on staff, and it's like, wow, we have like a 95 to 100% acceptance rate. Like I had never seen that before. And Zapier is a great company. We have, a really great brand, generally. And so people it was rare that people would turn down our offer. And to me, that was just so different and so surprising. Not because people didn't believe teaching was so important, but that it might not be the right fit for them, right? Like there's a lot of challenges in the teaching profession. And so I do think that this approach and this mindset of having to cultivate candidates every step of the way does make a big difference, especially now, Josh, where there are a lot of people looking for a job. There aren't a lot of jobs on the market. We know hiring has slowed. I think it's so sad and unfortunate when you see companies sort of take advantage of that. And it's like, oh, well, like all of these candidates will apply and, we're just going to go through them in a bulk way and try to get to the best candidate that we can, where I think this is a perfect opportunity for companies to really think about recruiting as brand ambassadorship in times of high hiring volume and in times of low hiring volume. If you think of recruiters and everybody in the recruiting process as a brand ambassador for your company, I think it changes the power dynamic. So you're not just a recruiter and someone needs to impress you to get a job. You hold all the cards, but you need to impress them. Like you need to ensure that they want to work here and that they are going to want to say yes to Zapier. Our team's mission is to inspire people from all backgrounds to say yes to Zapier. And so when you think about it that way, it really does change the approach of a recruiter on our team and our sourcer and everybody who works on our talent acquisition team, as well as our hiring managers and interviewers, is that this is a two-way street. It's a really different approach and calculation, I think, especially in this job market than what we see when companies are ghosting candidates or don't feel like they have to provide that personalized, tailored experience. We don't get it right every time for sure, but we really try to ensure that once people walk away from the hiring experience at Zapier, whether they got the role or not, they have a more positive impression of us, they have a more positive impression of the company, and they've really seen our values play out throughout the process. And our hiring philosophies are really based on those values. And that's sort of what drives us to ensure that we're offering a strong candidate experience.